Okay, so let me share some more. And I think that it needs to be said that I was sharing how we could make sure that, of every way, how I was supposed to serve the Lord. He also said in the moments, I remember he showed me all these years of my life, and everything that's been said is all in my walk, every bit of it. God also said that I would serve him by healing his children. The blind would see, the deaf shall hear, and those who cannot walk shall walk. I will always serve him with his forefathers of the world. There's confirmation, every bit of it's true. As in confirmation to the fact that in Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, in your Boy Scout manual or your Girl Scout manual, we are blessed to have this amongst our children, as our parents were to have amongst us, that if it's the truth, you'll cough or you'll spit, or, there's different signs, and if you sneeze, then it's not the truth. I really hope and pray that we all remember, though, this is only as man knows of the truth. If you want to know the truth as the Lord above knows, just ask of him. He shall always answer you. And then I wanted to share some more with you, that I was sharing of every way I was supposed to serve him, and I will always serve him in every way possible. And to make sure that we make sure that God's work is done in this world, make sure his will is done in this land where we live. God said it would start in this land. It would sweep across our land, and then around the world to all of his children. As his children, we would make changes in the world that would be different, something new for all of his children. And that these changes, we would make changes, and that they would take their strength down. His children would be obedient to him, and they would take their strength down, and all that walked amongst me would be set free. He said it would start in this land, it would sweep around the world. He said it would go around to all of his children. In order to make sure that his will is done in this world, we have rights as American citizens. And in this land, in our nation, our civil rights have been violated by the use of this technology, which I've already explained. Also, it's in my walk with the Lord that this shall happen. So that's your liberty. It's your liberty of religion. I know people think, oh no, isn't that supposed to be religious liberty? No, it's your liberty of religion, because it's in my walk with the Lord. And by the way, I asked God when I walked with him, because I was like, there's all these different religions and stuff, and there's no wrong way to love him. He said that we all seek him. So see, we all seek him no matter what. So it's your religious liberty, or your liberty of religion. You can look that up. In other words, our government cannot govern over our right to worship our Father, to serve him. They cannot govern over that, and they have to give us that liberty. They have to give us that to do it in every way to make sure that his will is done. So it's in my walk with the Lord. I'm Tanya Marie Hampton, and this is the truth. It's all right here. So this would be your liberty of religion. You can file complaints at the Department of Justice. Go online. It says file complaint. You file for a complaint, and then there's this little box will just pop up, and underneath the box it'll say, it'll have like 3 different things that you're filing for, or 3 different reasons you could be filing for. You click on your civil rights, and under your civil rights there will be one for your religion, which is part of your civil rights. So then it'll have a box that'll pop up, or it'll have like an application. It'll just say your name, your address, a brief description, or in that box you'll put in a brief description or why you're filing this complaint, and who are you filing it against. Well, you're filing it against the Department of Justice, their employees, because every officer of the law and the FBI, that's the Department of Justice employees. And so you file a complaint against them for your civil rights being violated. You explain why. Another reason why you could file is if anybody's ever asked you to sign a waiver to waive your rights as an American citizen. Say that you were, for whatever reason, got in trouble, and the judge says, okay, if you'll sign this waiver and this plea agreement, you'll go ahead and we'll release you today. You'll get out of it. If you're in jail, we'll release you today. And, or if someone becomes as a made man, an informant, confidential informant, they have to sign a waiver to waive their rights away, their Fifth Amendment, da da da. Right? Well, and I hope that all knows there's just caught and uncaught in this world. And they're the FBI. They can do whatever they want to. They can list you any way they want to. Doesn't mean that somebody's necessarily telling on anybody, because at this time in the United States, everybody in the United States is somebody, or they're somebody's somebody. In other words, they're either a minister, a member of a minister's family, or not a religious figure, or they're a member of an officer of the laws, family member, or a member of they're a member of their family is in their military, serving our country from one of our branches of military, or they are naturally in the world, or they are naturally in the world. That's religious, or they're a member of somebody in their family that is as an informant, confidential informant, and they're a member of that family. You can share of everything because that's your liberty of religion. See, I already filed complaints at the Department of Justice for my liberty of religion so that I could share, and for the use of this technology being used on me and my children and my parents. My mother, stepmother, passed away this last year from cancer, knowing that this technology is around us and it's been attached to every one of us. And it was used on us without our consent. When you file a complaint, you'll have a lawsuit against the United States. What happens is the United States gives you a civil rights attorney. They'll mail you a letter telling you that they've given you a civil rights attorney and what your rights are, because a civil rights attorney knows all, that's a special attorney, right, that knows everything about every civil right that we have in this land. But the Constitution states that no one has the right to hold your freedom over your head or to ask you to waive your rights as an American citizen at any time. And how many times have we signed waivers and waived our rights as American citizen? Does anybody ever, did anybody ever say, hey, that's against your civil rights? No one has the right to ask you to waive your rights, even as a made man, even as, which is an informant, confidential informant, or even in a plea agreement. You can plea out, we can agree to do community service, you can agree to do probation or whatever it is, but you do not at any time have to give up your rights as an American citizen. It says that the person that asks you to waive your rights as an American citizen, you go to jail, prison, and pay a fine. I spent, I guess 2 years ago now, or a year ago, I was in a courtroom in Barrow County. That's right, I've been there too. And anyways, the lady in front of me, the judge told the lady, she said, told the lady, she said, go ahead and sign the waiver, and we'll go ahead and release you. Sign that waiver, and we'll release you today. Well, yeah, baby, you know that she's going to sign that waiver. She wants out of there, No, and I turned around and I verbally spoke out loud. I said, do you know that judge could go to jail or prison and even have to pay a fine for asking you to waive your rights as an American citizen? No one has that right to do that to you. And to hold your freedom and say, hey, that's against the law. It's written in your Constitution. Another reason is, in the United States Supreme Court docket number US 142 and US 141 and US 142 states that no one of law enforcement in any branch or anyone that is serving, helping to serve as an officer of a law, and that's including informants, confidential informants, anybody working in any branch of training or whatever, they cannot ever cause you physical or mental harm. Well, it says it on their website at Biometric Center of Excellence that this technology is used by them, that every branch of law enforcement. It says it on there that it causes tumors on your brain, that it causes non-active cancer cells to be active. It says it causes brain damage. So therefore, that is causing you mentally when they sit there. If it's somebody going through it for whatever type of reason, they're being investigated or set up for whatever, um, for whatever illegal activity. They tell them a bunch of lies and they're torturing them. You ever see somebody dazing off, or they're talking to themselves, or they're just going crazy? Please let them know they're not going crazy. If you hear it, you actually do hear it. It is this technology. Just explain it to them. We all know about facial recognition on Facebook. We all know about our fingerprints and everything. It's right there. It's real simple. But US 241 and US 242 also states this. You'll read that under United States Supreme Court. US 142 states that no one of law enforcement can neglect you by allowing anyone else to cause you physical or mental harm. So no one can just run around torturing people mentally or spiritually in our Father's congregation. Thanks again for helping me to share with others. God bless.